cheer them on. They love it when you do that. And again, thanks so much for being part of the PBA event here at Olympia Lanes. I'd like to thank our host, Nick Loxis, who is away at a birthday party for his daughter. But thanks so much to Nick. He's been with us for a number of years here at Olympia Lanes. We sure appreciate his support of professional bowling, along with Mike Cozy, the general manager here at Olympia. Mike has put in long, hard hours along with his staff. Mike is here before me, he's here after me, and quite frankly, I'm tired. I don't know how Mike does it. But thanks so much to the staff for their preparation and making this event so special. We had a great Pro-Am here on Monday, and thanks to all of the Pro-Am bowlers for coming out and joining us as well. Hopefully they had a great time bowling with their pros. Of course, we'd like to thank our title sponsor, South Shore Sports Promotions. Thank you very much, along with Lakeshore Convention and Visitors Bureau. They have been with us a number of years as well. Rick Klutka is representing South Shore Sports Promotions with us. Thank you for coming out, Rick. And we have some other special guests with us today. First of all, Chris Cole, the Association Manager for the GCA USBC Board and Board members, excuse me. Thank you for being part of this event. And Mike Kubaki, the coach for Calumet College of St. Joe. He's been out for a few years here. Thanks so much. And of course, Joel Miller, who is the secretary of the largest senior league in the state of Indiana for men over 55. Thanks for coming out again. Also, I'd like to thank the media for being part of this event. They've been with us for every year that I've been here as well. With the Post-Tribune, we have Tony Nacella with us. Thanks so much, Tony, for being part of it. And Johnny Dorches from the Times. Johnny, are you out here? And last but not least, our very own Bill Vent with the PBA, our PR man. Thanks, Bill. We've got some great matchups for you today. We have in the top 5, they are all PBA champions coming to show you what they've got on the lanes. We have 2 Hall of Famers, PBA and USBC Hall of Famers, and we have a past Tournament of Champions winner as well coming up in the upcoming matches. So they should be great matches. And in the opening match, it will be Greg Zika from Glen Ellen, Illinois. You've been cheering for him all day. So congratulations to Greg. Greg is a 3-time PBA Regional Tour champion. He's also a holder of 2 USBC titles. This is his 3rd PBA 50 Tour event. He's made the cut in all 3, and this is his first top 5. And he's got his hands full. He's facing none other than Amleto Monticelli from Venezuela, now living in Miami, Florida. Amleto happens to be a 20-time PBA Tour champion. His most recent championship coming in Japan. He won the 2016 Japan Cup. He's a 6-time champion on the PBA 50 Tour. He's won multiple events across the world. PBA and USBC Hall of Famer as well, Amleto Monticelli. Amleto has the choice of starting lane, and I failed to get that earlier. Greg Zika will start the match. One more time, let's give him a nice round of applause for the opening match. Thanks so much.
All right, good evening, bowling fans, and here we are, PBA50 South Shore Open, opening stepladder match. Craig Elliott along with 2015 Dick Weber Sportsmanship Award winner, Mr. Tom Carter.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
We're kicking things off with Greg Zika, kind of a local fan favorite out of Glen Ellen, well known in this part of the country, against 20-time winner, Hall of Famer, Emilio Monticelli.
Even though Greg might be a unknown to some people, a local guy, unbelievable bowler, got 2 USBC titles. He's silver level coach. One of his kids just won the U15. One of his girls at Junior Gold.
Yeah, Mabel Cummins, the U15 title.
He knows how to play. So just because they might not know who he is right now, they might know who he is after today.
And on top of those 2 USBC titles, you mentioned 3 regionals and a Peterson Classic title. That's probably one of the tougher ones to get, honestly. That's not an easy tournament to go through.
Winning the Pete might be like winning 10 PBA titles. But he does, he's got an opponent here that isn't scared of anybody. Amuletto's been around for a few years.
Ameldo just realized, talking to John Weber before during practice there, that he's now won in 4 decades. He didn't realize that. He just won the Japan Cup again, and he's won in 4 decades.
Well, I don't think bowlers ever even think about that.
Ameldo's only 35, though. I mean, look at the guy.
Yeah.
Right? So it's almost mathematically impossible for that to happen.
The guy is so in shape, it's just retarded.
Yeah, that's what we can say about that.
They're both playing the lanes totally different. I mean, obviously, you watch Amuletto, he's crossing 17 out to like 8. Greg is going to be a little bit more direct. He's going to be pretty much up 10, up and at him. He's straighter through the front part of the lane. And it's kind of funny. A lot of the guys this week that really racked up some high numbers were a lot straighter through the front part of the lane. So Amuletto figured out something to get to the show today.
We saw that with Duke in the opening round. He was the only guy kind of inside a little bit, curving every touch, put up a good block, but then everybody after that just kind of seemed to square things up, move right.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I ended up 269 over, which wasn't enough, but I felt like I bowled good. And it was really tough because what I like to see my ball do and what I needed to see my ball do were 2 different things. And finally, when I got on top of it enough in the last 5 games, I averaged 250, but that was too much too late. See, him being so much straighter, the carry is so much better when you can go that straight through the front. And for me, it looks like I'm throwing the ball off my left shoulder when I do that. And some of the guys that can do that obviously do it really well, because the scores this week were extremely high. Took, 386 over to make the cashier's round.
Yeah, scores went up those last couple of games late last night. And the key for Zika is just getting the ball rolling off his hand and stay low stop. Look, he got a touch quick on that last shot maybe. This one looks a little better.
See,
totally
that one wasn't
result.
as straight. It went right off his hand. He crossed like 12 at the arrows. It went out, and it never reads the dry spot down lane. And it's so easy to miss right. And it looks like you can hook it, and when you hit the pocket, normally you flat 10. Unfortunately, he caught a little bit too much of that fresh oil in the front. Ball just hydroplaned. We're on 47 feet, and it's not a lot of volume, but it's still 47 feet. And the problem, ooh, that was close. The problem with our pattern, a lot of guys used a lot of surface, and they burn up the fronts, but we still didn't have a lot of back end. So the ball hooked and kind of like laid off. And the straighter guys could strike.
Yeah, we saw a concerted effort yesterday morning when B Squad came back that they were putting some surface on the ball before they started. A lot of it.
How about screening it? I thought if you guys had a rasp. I mean, they had some serious surface.
I mean, we even saw Bob Learn come and grab a 500 pad off, and you see that.
Yeah. Well, I crossed with Bob. Unfortunately, he hurt his wrist, but man, he was, when we were practicing, he was grinding on a ball just, because we couldn't get the ball to read the mids. And a ball has to slow down in order to hook, and there was so much oil, it seemed like the ball just kept picking up speed and never would read the dry spot at the back end.
Now, what is it that we're seeing Monticelli doing here? I mean, the majority of the players this week, you kind of had to stay behind it, get that end over end, not real heavy roll, but get it into early roll, and let him not get around it like he normally does, but still maybe a little more tilt than some of the other players, but still getting the ball to read and finish. How can you do that?
Obviously, Amuletto being as great as he is, that shot there, you can tell he's playing with speed. And he's slowing it down so his ball gets a chance to pick up. Because like I just said, that if the ball doesn't slow down, it doesn't hook.
Right.
And he likes to throw it a little bit firmer. So I think he slowed it up some to get the ball to read. But the problem is if you get too slow, it's right through the face. And normally you don't get any kind of a break on this pattern because of the length. This 3-9 is no gimme on this pattern. Exactly. You're scared to give it away because you don't think it's going to hook, but you want to get it going. And if you listen to that, I mean, he got that ball down like really fast. So it'd read.
You know, interesting talking to him a little before the match. He's thrown that cyborg all but 2 games this week. Is that going to be good or bad? If he runs into something he hasn't seen, is he really going to know what to jump to? Because he hasn't thrown any other equipment this week, or does he? You think he knows his stuff enough?
Well, a lot of these players know their equipment well enough, but when you use one ball all week and all of a sudden maybe the shot changes because the lanes have been stripped and re-oiled so many times, and now that we've got different players on them, they're breaking down a little bit different. I think it'd be a little bit scary not knowing exactly what to go to, you know, because obviously out here there's so many options. We always say out here, you know, 70% of your ball reaction is ball surface to lane surface, and you know, am I picking the right ball with the right layout with the right surface? And it's like kind of like playing the lotto. And when you're in a match like this, and it's just a 1-game match and it goes by so fast, you got to make the right call, because if you don't, it's 2-8-10, big 4. Greg's going to be much straighter. I think he's going to get in less trouble unless he just gets slow. He knows what he's facing. He just can't try to fit it, and that's the hard thing on a lot of oil. People try to fit the shot. Ameleto's crossing like, yeah, he's like
that down lane a little farther.
Yeah, because he crossed like, you know, 12, 13, 13, 14 right there and got it to 8 down lane. He's a smart player. Ameleto's, you know, he's going to watch what Greg's doing. He's going to look at his break point and he's going to try to figure out how he can do what he can do. He knows he can't just move left and wind it up like he would like to. He got that right way too soon with a little bit slower speed, and boom, right through the face.
Like a good 6 or 8 foot earlier, that ball just got right. And
yes.
Slowed down in a hurry and just went left. And a big opening for Zika. And he even mentioned earlier that he needs to take advantage of the breaks because he knows he's going against all these Hall of Famers and guys with a ton of titles.
That's
he can't let up and needs to jump on it when he gets that opportunity.
Oh, and I'm sure Greg will at this point. And the match is evened right up now, and it's just straighter is greater on this, I think, until the lane really opens up.
Just to give our fans out there an idea of just how many titles we're talking about. Walter Ray, Parker Bone, Norm Duke, Brian Voss. So those are guys in the top 16 that didn't make the show. That's 214 national titles in the top 16 coming in this afternoon.
That didn't make it. Hey, it was funny, as straight as Walter can be in this last round, his ball actually was hooking too early, and it just couldn't. And Parker was having the same thing. If he moved too far left, the ball hooked early, but if he moved right, the ball didn't read. And a lot of that speed and the right surface on the ball. This pattern is so touchy. We're so used to seeing hook down lane. We get used to visually seeing that. And this pattern, because guys use so much surface, because they thought it wasn't going to hook, everything started hooking early. And then trying to fight the fronts, let alone trying to fight the back ends.
Big 2-7 conversion for Zika. And coming up just a little light again with the 2-8. And Zika stuck with pretty much 2 balls all week. The Alpha Crux and this snap lock. And the Alpha Crux a little more aggressive than this snap lock. I don't know if he just feels this gives him a little cleaner read through the front.
Well,
it's not recovering, though.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not recovering. It might need a little bit of surface on it. But some of the guys went to Pearl. And the guys are like, why would you do Pearl on 47 feet of oil? But since it was a lighter volume and the heads were breaking down, guys used Pearl, got it through the front. And since there was some surface on it, the ball still read the mid lane and give you some kind of motion on the back end.
And retain a little bit of energy when it hits
right,
the pocket.
Exactly. I've seen so many guys sand balls and then the ball just burn up and never even move on the back end. And that's a hard visual to understand. Most people think, oh, I got to sand it more because it didn't hook at all. And you have too much on it.
Like Mletto tried to bump in just a little bit, keep a little tighter, and the ball still never picked up for him.
I think this is going to be the, unfortunately or fortunately, the battle of the guys that can throw it a little straighter. We got guys coming up on the show that throw it a little bit straighter. Amaletto's bowled fantastic to get to here, but like Walter and Parker earlier, had some trouble. The pattern just didn't play quite the same as it did all week long, but that happens when you strip an oil lane so many times.
Well, we saw that from the two match play rounds. I mean, Kenny Parks come out and averaged over 240 the first block. Comes in after breaking away all, and I think averaged 180. Yeah, just could never get anything going.
You know, I watched Kenny in that last round, and as hard as he tried, he couldn't get the ball to face up to the pocket the right way. And you're like, how can that be possible? I just bowled on this pattern 20 minutes ago.
That strip and royal over and over, things get tighter and the look gets different.
That's the kind of thing that you're kind of struggling anyway, and then you finally throw one really good, but you don't get the break. That's what really messes with your mind. Like, what do I got to do to knock 10 down?
Manacha's got 20 national titles, 6 PBA50s with 3 NBA majors. He just won the Japan Cup this year in the national title. He's definitely got the experience, the knowledge, but what's he got to do to figure this out now?
Unfortunately, it happens so fast. There's only 10 frames, and he's only got 2 left, and his best look is at 182. Not that, Greg's just got to fill frames, but Amaletto's got to figure out a way to throw a 4-bagger when he hasn't even thrown a double yet.
Yeah, not a position you want to find yourself in.
No,
and again, he's only thrown that 1 ball all week, so what do you do?
It's a little tough to loosen up your swing. Greg is safe. He's not giving up the pocket. Normally, the worst thing he's going to be shooting at is some kind of, hopefully, single pin spare. And if you watch like that ball, it's more at the pocket through the front part of the lane instead of away from the pocket. It's just he's got to find the dry spot on the lane that the ball will face up. And he obviously can't change surfaces now, unless he changes balls. I think he likes that ball.
But can they change between games, though?
Yeah, they can. So after this game, he might want to touch it a little bit. But you don't want to get crazy with it,
Taking a little time, getting that thumb hole feeling right, because he knows this match isn't over, but he needs to just keep filling those frames with good count, and it's going to be tough for Monticelli to catch him. Well,
he's got a possible 207. Amaletto's 182. He just got to make sure that he doesn't get any bad breaks.
It looks like he got that one to the dries just a touch quicker, and the ball did, like you say, face up and drove through that pocket just a little bit stronger than we've seen throughout this game. waiting for the winner of this opening match, we've got 10-time titleist Brian Goebel.
Brian's going to be a little bit tough on this because he didn't give up the pocket the whole time. He's going to be going at him. His role is a little bit more unique than anybody else on the telecast tonight, and that's going to be a tough match because it looks like it's going to be Brian against Greg Zika, and they're both going to be playing the same part of the lane. I'm sure Brian's going to be wanting this. He's coming off of a little bit of a sour week last week. He didn't bowl as well as he wanted to at the World Championships. He did make one cut, but that's not normal for Brian. So I think he's got something that he's got to prove.
And with a max score of 171 for Monticelli, 9 out is 175 for Zika. So even if he gets all three, this match is just about mathematically over.
I think Greg's just got to stay behind the foul line.
And this is one of Greg's lower games of the day. Hopefully he gets the jitters out, calm the nerves a little bit, gets past the first match.
Well, that's just it, getting past the first match. I think once he gets past the first match, he understands what the lane's doing because he's got experience on it now. His adjustments should be a little bit easier for the next game. I mean, Brian's coming in a little bit lost. Even though he's going to get practice shots, Greg should understand what the characteristics are going on right now between the pair. It's interesting, Amuleto just made a huge move to the left. He went farther left, got more in the center of the lane. And if you actually go by Kegel's rule of thumb, it's 47 feet minus 31. Our break point should be around 16, 15, 14 in that area. You know, and if all the guys are actually taking it a little bit right of that at this point.
A solid 9, a couple of 10 pins, a couple of splits, and that's a 170 for Monticelli.
Greg is going to slide into the next match, but he's got an opponent that's going to be a little bit fierce.
Well, and he only needs to fill 7, so he's got a couple shots here to maybe try something.
He'll experiment. He's a silver level coach. He knows what's going on. He's got probably a lot of students watching today, you know, which is cool.
Opening match here at the PBA50 South Shore Open, presented by DV8 and our friends at the South Shore Sports Promotions. Greg Zika advances to take on Brian Goebel after defeating Amuleto Monticelli. Craig Elliott and Tom Carter back with match number 2 next.
Congratulations to Greg Zika, moving on. Amuleto Monticelli, everyone. Congratulations to Amuleto on his 5 finish. Upcoming, we have Brian Goebel. Brian is going to take 6 shots before we start match number 2. 6 shots.
spectators, just a reminder, those sitting up on the top row, watch your heads. It might be too late, but if you need ice, we'll get something to deli. Definitely please watch your head. I heard that all over down here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to start match number 2 of the PBA50 Tour South Shore Open. It is 10-time PBA Tour champion Brian Goebel, past Tournament of Champions winner, going against 3-time PBA Tour champion Greg Zika. Match number 2 coming your way. Zika will start the match. Guys, good luck.
All right, here we go. Off and running with the words from our esteemed tournament director, Mr. John Weber. Greg Zika will start the match against Brian Goebel, 10-time titleist.
Future Hall of Famer.
With the TOC title in there as well.
Greg changed balls.
Changed balls, and that ball, as we talked earlier, it just checked at the arrows.
Right. He went to an Alpha Crux that looks like, obviously, a lot more surface. The ball just hooks early, and that's what the guys they were having trouble with before. You think you need a ball with more surface, but too much surface, it wants to read early.
Well, and unfortunately, this was just kind of a guess, his first shot. He come off this pair. He got to throw a couple practice shots on the practice pair, so this lane had some play on it, which the other pair didn't. He should make a big adjustment off that, and you assume find the pocket pretty quick.
Well, he will need to, because he just gave a free frame to Brian Goebel, and that's not really what you really want to do, because they're both going to be playing the same part of the lane.
And this is a surprise. I talked to Goebel before the match. I mean, we know Goebel through his years on the national tour. He's the guy that always liked to hook it. Big slow roll, get the big wheel out, and he likes to curve a little bit. And he's been playing very direct all week, and that's not something that he's probably known for doing, is used to doing all the time, but he just kind of got locked in, got comfortable there, and it's working.
He's actually been doing that, I'd say, for the last year and a half out on the senior tour. He's just decided that he's going to go straighter, and he's going basically right to left off his hand and at the pocket, and he's been doing that quite well for the last year and a half. And he uses quite a bit of surface, but his roll allows that. It's not really a roll, it's more of a kind of a spin. And so he can get away with more surface and not have the ball read quite as early. He's got such a unique approach. It's really slow, methodical.
But very strong arm and keeps the ball on target very, very well. His best finish on the PBA50 Tour has got a couple of seconds, one to Scroggins and one to Tom Baker. So looking for his best finish out here yet.
He's looking for his first senior title. A little more direct with that. He didn't get it as right as he did on the left lane. Almost like what Brian just did. He went at him a little bit more. He's a little bit farther right at the break point.
Good adjustment after that first shot.
Now it looks like we have a match.
We got a ball game now, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm glad to see the guys aren't having any problems with the approaches with the rain and the humidity and stuff that we've had. When the tournament first started, they were a little bit sticky, so it looks like they've smoothed out quite a bit.
Well, we had a bit of a lake out to the side of the center earlier with quite a storm that blew through here.
Oh my gosh. My motorhome was like, the water was up to the wheels.
You have to start carrying a kayak on the motorhome for you, just in case.
Yeah, I've got enough problems. I don't need a boat.
The ball started creeping a little high. It looked maybe just a touch slower, but good result.
Yeah, he really went at him that time, but the ball held a little high, kind of held pocket. Everybody needs to take a little trip every now and then, you know.
You know, that's been his key to success, he said this week, though. He's just been able to keep the ball in the pocket. And like we saw a lot of players with a bunch of splits this week, and I don't think Brian's really fell into that. He's kept the ball in play, not giving the pocket away.
7-10s were huge this week.
They were all over the place.
Just bunches of them, and then you make an adjustment. It was Greek church right through the middle. But with all that said, it still took 386 over to make it, which is just incredible. I didn't expect the scores to be that high on this pattern. Now, Walter was 760 over. He averaged like 247 or something. It's insane. Greg's making it a match. He's really going at him now. You just can't give up the pocket on this. He crossed like 12. He's inside of 12, or the marker down lane around 12.
You can't get a whole lot straighter than that.
No. And that kind of an angle is really hard for a lot of people to see off their hand. It almost looks like you're throwing it over your left shoulder for him. He's so straight through the front.
Inside of target, looks like he drifted a little bit left that time and just couldn't get the ball back.
Yeah, that didn't quite look like the rest of his shots.
Yeah, it was 11-12 down at the rangefinder. And was going left. So a big opening for Brian Gold with the front four against Zika. Zika 2 splits.
Whoa.
Run at it.
He gave it a run.
Got it. Every time you mentioned the 7-10, our extra frame fans caught a great match with Brunetti and Parker Bone. It looked like the match was over. Brunetti just had to mark. You big fours in the 10th. Parker comes up.
Right.
7-10s.
And 7-10s in the 10th, then throws and knocks the 7 clear back out
in
halfway up
sweep.
Yeah, in front. So many 7-10s this week. I was very fortunate to leave 2 of them back to back. Can't say I was real happy about that.
I'll just get them out of the way and be done with them.
That's what I thought. You know, if it's my turn, I want mine and get done with it.
And although it was one of our feature pairs most of the week, lane 11 had quite a few 7-10s for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's funny. And this pattern, 47 feet being tough as it is, depending when you moved pairs, depending on how the guys try to attack it and break them down, every pair played a little bit different. Left lane to right lane played different. It was literally a Rubik's Cube out there, and the guys that are on this telecast, I got to give them props because to figure it out is incredible. Because some of this shots that you think were absolutely pristine didn't strike. Solid 8, solid 9, 10 pin after 10 pin after 10 pin.
Well, Brian's seeing something like out there right now. Front 6.
I think, Brian hasn't won out here. He didn't have such a great week last week, and now making the show, he's got something to prove, and he's very, very focused.
And you can hear Zika with great local support. A lot of his friends and family supporting him here, and that's great to see. Got a lot of people behind him. They've been here all day long, too.
He's obviously throwing the ball well, and he made the right adjustments. Unfortunately, he gave Brian 2 frames, and that's not the thing you can do. Not when you're on the show. Your 25 minutes on the show goes by real fast. I can attest for that for last week.
You just made it. It's been a while, but you made the show again. How'd that feel to finally get back in there?
It felt great. I thought I was going to win until I left a 7-10 in the 8th. But on the good side, the motorhome drove all the way here. I didn't have any problems.
That's a plus. Brian Goebel out of Shawnee, Kansas. Front 6 here in Stepladder match number 2. PBA50 South Shore Open at Olympia Lanes.
Oh, he got that one in a little bit, and he knew it as soon as he let it go.
Crept a touch high, but just a 4-pin though. That could have been
the biggest thing is
quite a few different leaves there.
If you can fill the frames on something as, and I keep saying it's tough, it was tough for me on this pattern. That's incredible because the splits they would jump out at you at any time. I think we used 47 feet here because the surface here normally hooks anyway. So they tamed it down a little bit by using a longer pattern. And then, but it played long, but it only had 20 mils of oil on it. And I think that's why the front part of the lane blew up so fast. He's got a great look to the pocket, and if he keeps that up, he's going to be forced to be reckoned with through this entire show.
Doesn't get much prettier than that. Zeke can still shoot 244.
Yeah, he needs to throw another double here to keep the pressure on because anything can happen. That didn't unfortunately help his situation any. He's looking at 220 right now. If he feels the rest of the frames, that just means Brian basically he doesn't have to strike anymore. He just has to mark. No matter the outcome, Greg had a fantastic tournament, being only his 3rd tournament, making the TV show. That's pretty incredible.
3 for 3 on cuts. Yeah, he's going to have a top 5 here. It looks like he can finish 4th.
I don't know if he's going next week on Cheetah, but he should be.
Yeah, with the line he's playing here, I think his shape might fall right into that Cheetah pattern a little bit. You might want to throw him in the motorhome and take him with you.
Pay for gas.
Well, gas is only like $1.86 right now. It's
not
nice.
diesel.
Oh, well, yeah, you're out of luck there. Sorry.
Our next match, Pete Weber.
Yeah, the good news, Brian Goebel, he's going to get by this match with Greg Zika, and then he's got
probably to face
time.
Yeah, face
PBA
the hottest
titles,
player on the planet at this point.
5 titles already this year. The worst finish, a 4th.
Yeah, shake that off.
Wow.
Every time he puts on the shoes, he makes a show. How'd you like to have that record?
I'd take it. We got Pete Weber, Lenny Borsch staying loose off to our left as Goebel cleans up the spare. And just stay behind the foul line. And this match is officially over. Great week, though, as you said, by Greg Zika. I mean, he's been up in the top 10, I think, all week long. Throwing some big games, had great fan support, put on a show for the guys here.
Well, it just goes to show his coaching ability. He knows what he's doing. Actually, when I left Rockford and went to Columbus, some of my students I sent over to Greg because I wasn't going to be around anymore. And he's done a fantastic job. He's a great coach, and obviously the kids can see that what he's teaching them works.
Sure.
You know.
In the meantime, Brian Goble just keeps on striking.
You think he'll try a different ball in this fill shot just to see?
You know what? You might as well, but I don't know. I mean, he's got to believe that Pete's going to come in. Pete's going to bump inside, circle around him. He might have to be ready to make a jump if it comes to it, but he's stuck with the same couple of balls all week.
I think I'd have to throw one just to see, because you know that these guys playing the same line might be making Pete's break point just a little bit crisper.
Yeah, and
he did change balls.
Paradox Pearl.
Yeah. Just to see what he got. That's
Nice
a good thing.
Game.
259.
Nice ball game. Next up here in our semifinal match, PBA50 South Shore Open. 37-time titleist Pete Weber.
Trying to make it 100.
Yeah, no, he'll go for 99.
I thought he already had.
He's got 98.
He's got 98.
He's got
okay.
98. And 10-time national titleist Brian Goble.
So it's a race to 100 titles for him and Walter Ray. Then, is that right?
That's what it could be. Yeah, if Pete can get to 99 by getting around Goble and Borsch, we could have a showdown maybe next week at Championship Lanes between the two for number 100.
Wow.
But there might be some storylines there. It might be something for Bill Vint to write about.
I would think so. Yeah. I can't even imagine winning 100 titles.
But, hey, great week again for Greg Zika. Congratulations on your best finish. Weber is going to come in and get his practice shots, and Tom Carter and I will be back with the semifinal match here from Olympia Lanes.
Goble moving on, and Greg Zika as well. 3 cuts in 3 attempts and a top 5 finish. Greg Zika, everybody. Great record for Greg Goble. Okay, we are going to take some more warm-up shots here before we start the semifinal match. Pete will take 6 shots if he wants them, and Lenny 4. We'll get the semifinal match underway for you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to start the semifinal match of the PBA 50 Tour South Shore Open presented by PBA. And it is 10-time PBA Tour champion Brian Goebel. He's facing off with 37-time PBA Tour champion Pete Weber, going for his 6th PBA 50 Tour title of the year. Making his 9th top 5 and 9 attempts. So it should be a great match. Guys, good luck. Give him a good show.
You notice John Weber didn't have to look at his notes to go through Pete's accolades. He's done this a couple times with him this year.
I've always wondered how he can't say his brother. You know, he's so professional about it. You know,
Oh, yeah.
he just disassociates himself. Say my brother's absolutely a fantastic bowler. 6 titles, or going for his 6th this season. That's incredible.
Not if Brian Goebel's got anything to say about it. On 259 last game, and he's going back to that Swerve GT and doing what he did a lot of against Greg Zika.
He obviously feels pretty comfortable on the lanes. He's got a great look. He's going at him. He's not really giving up the pocket at all. He's just got to make sure he doesn't go high. And it's going to be a tough match because Pete had a great look all week too. I mean, he started out the day, 290, his first game out. First game of the tournament was 300. And there's that hop on the approach. That's...
Yeah, 9-pin. And what can we say about Pete? I mean, we know 37 titles, 9 PBA 50s, 5 this year, 2-time Triple Crown winner, 10 majors, tied for most of all time with Rowe. I mean, just he wins everything. Worst place finish of 4th this year. And I talked to him outside before he came in, and he really feels, you know, this is his best year ever. Is that possible? That he's just getting better?
Yeah, I guess. He's thrown it better than anybody on the planet, I think. It's just amazing to watch. He makes every pattern look like he has a locker at the place.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him now at, 5 or 6 tournaments, and it's like he throws the exact same shot at every one, and they all strike. But when you're throwing it good things happen, and that's, you know, to be expected when your last name is Weber. He's been on this game for a while.
Yeah, he's got such an amazing roll and release, and that open-handed signature follow-through, and it's just fun to watch because how do you reproduce that?
Well, even if you go back to his first title this year at the Villages, that looked very similar to what we saw there. Open hand, just get it off quick, let the ball roll.
He lets the ball do the work.
Yeah.
And we always say that to all of our students, you know, just let the ball do the work, but that trust factor, you know, you think you got to do something to it. And he's figured out how to trust it. And he literally does make, I don't care if we're on cheetah, if we're on 47 feet of oil, he makes them all look and play about the same, which is absolutely incredible. But right now he hasn't scared Brian Goebel a bit, I don't think.
No, and you know, like you said, Brian wants to win. He's got a couple second-place finishes. He's been out on tour for a lot of years. He's 55 years old now. He wants that win. I mean, all the guys want to win, but he's ready. He's ready for that win.
We all want that win. You know, that's why we're out here. It's never about the money. It's always about the titles. I can spend the money, but you can't take the title away from us. Oh, he got that. That wasn't as direct as all of his other shots. He got that a little bit right, more down the lane, and it just overreacted for him.
Well, he got away with one here, though. This could have been a split. Very easy, just a 4-pin.
Not the same 4-pin he left the last game. Like I said, it could have been a split real easy. Easy enough spare. Really evens up the match, though. I think this is our 17th year coming here that Mike Cozy and the guys have put on a tournament. They do such a fantastic job. They give us coffee and muffins in the paddock. They treat us like gold here. It's pretty incredible.
And it's been a good crew of fans in here the majority of the week as well. Even during the daytime when you know, most people are at work.
Yep.
Good support, and they see a good support here. We're packing the stands, a lot of people here, and Weber just throws another strike.
See, I think if we could play one of the other tournaments that he won this, it looks like he's playing the same part of the lane.
You could go to the Villages, you could go to the Senior U.S. Open. The only thing different is his shirt.
Exactly.
And again, he's stuck with that Alpha Crux all week long.
Yeah. The only thing he did was surface it a little bit, but he used the same ball all week.
He got a lot of that one.
That's the hard thing to take in this tournament, when you really, really think you threw it pretty damn good, just like that, and then, boom, 10-pin.
Yeah, it looks like he might have just ripped through that one just a touch more, and just that was the difference. But yeah, it's still a pretty darn good shot. And with his release that we've seen through the years, he can go with some of these bigger pieces because he just gets the ball to float through the front.
He never hits up on it.
Yeah.
You know, hitting up on the ball, a lot of us think that we have to grab on the ball to make it hook, and that's not what you have to do. He lets it roll off his hand so pure that the ball actually reads the pattern. And when a ball reads a pattern, you can make good adjustments. When you're trying to make a ball read a pattern, the pattern changes drastically on you.
Yeah, if we would have known all that back in the 80s, some of us would have arms, wrists, fingers, knees, left.
Yeah, we would be broken.
And with no arthritis. And, you know, that's to Pete's longevity, though. That's why he can do this now. He was a 1980
That's 2
Rookie
shots
of
in
the
a row.
Year. He's been doing this for 36-plus years with not a lot of health issues.
No.
Because he is, like you said, so smooth and soft.
And so many guys have had to quit. And that's what I worry about the young guys. You know, they're all torquing on the ball so much. You look at the longevity of Johnny Petraglia, Dave Sutar when he was out here, rolled into his 70s, Parker Bone, Norm Duke, Pete, Amaletto. They don't really try to overwork the ball. They let the ball do the work for them.
Yep.
And some of the new styles out today, man, they're torquing on it so much.
And it's a one-pin match early on through 4 frames. Pete Weber, Brian Goebel, semifinal match. Lenny Borsch
Waiting in the wings.
waiting in the wing, looking for his 3rd PBA 50 title.
He bowled so fantastic today in that last round. It was incredible. I could have swore he had a locker here. He bowled so good.
That ball looked like it was going to start to check on him, but it kind of laid off a little bit, and a good result. And you know, believe it or not, Lenny changed balls that last block. He went to an Alpha Crux that last block that he hadn't been throwing most of the week, and it just, you want to talk about matching up.
Oh my gosh,
he made
he
it
lit
look
him
way
up.
too
It
easy.
was, yeah, it was 250, 260, 280, 290. It's almost you don't even know what to say about Pete's style. It's just there.
You know, for the people at home that haven't ever met him in person, it's almost shocking to me the amount of power that he can generate for such small stature. He's not a big guy.
No.
And you can't really get much.
He's got to be, what, 5'7", 145 pounds soaking wet? Maybe. But you take a look at Norm Duke and Amaletto. They're not big guys either. Wayne Webb, when he's out here, not a big guy. Oh. That messenger went behind the 9 and missed it.
He's got a little something to say about that 9.
Yeah,
here we go.
You know he's...
Another look. Messenger right behind it.
Yeah, he's talking to that pin.
He's not happy. That was an index finger, everybody. Don't start writing on Facebook that it was something else. It was an index finger.
You seen that?
With my own 2 eyes close up.
Is rougher break as that was for Pete. That's what Brian Goebel needs now. He needs to take advantage of that and throw a quick double at Pete and put a little bit of pressure on him. I mean, that's something Pete really hasn't had put on him all year long.
Well, no, he hasn't. I'm going to reminisce for a second. I thought I had him beat. I was ahead of him until I threw the 7-10 in the 8th. I thought I had him beat. And then
slow rolling 10 pin.
Oh, my goodness. That's the kind of breaks that you need to win a title. Mike Cozy up out of the chair quick, correcting the score. You know, we always wondered why, and I did wonder why they used 47 feet of oil at this place. But I got to talk to Mike. The lanes were put in 2001. So they're 15, 16 years old. He's got 2,500 league bowlers, which is incredible.
Wow, yeah, that's fantastic.
That's a lot of lineage, not counting his open play. So there's a lot of topography out there on those lanes that create friction. And Brian taking advantage of that slow rolling messenger for the 10 to put up a 3-bagger against Pete.
And his kind of high, almost spinner type roll gets that push where the ball's not going to grab
right
as much as it would for some of the other players and stays on line. And
I don't think that's a bad thing.
No, not at all.
All right, this is where Pete becomes a different person. He's got it backed in a corner, didn't get a break, and he's one of those players, it seems like if he gets that attitude, some people call it mad, whatever you want to call it, it's like his focus as a switch goes off and everything just goes right, laser beam type.
It's getting that edge, though. I mean, that's what it is. He's got something that, I mean, you know, you've been out here a long time. There's tons of players with tons of talent, but knowing how to win, knowing how to handle the situation, being able to harness everything that's happening, that's what makes him a winner.
Right. You know, they come back after that. Yeah, he's super focused now. Look at that post. And that he's making shots now. I don't know if it's in Brian's head, but he needs to be a little bit concerned.
Yeah, he's taking a deep breath. He's got a little lead now. Like I said, he's been here before. I mean, he's been on national TV multiple times. He's got 10 titles. He's got a major. It's nothing new to him. A little slow.
Well, yeah, I think he overthought that one maybe a little bit. And this isn't the easiest spare in the world, the 3-6-10. There's only about 900 ways to miss that, and one way to make it. Wow. Off his hand, I thought that was a complete miss.
I think he probably agrees with you.
Oh. That was right fast. Oh, my God.
Got something.
Well, that had picked up the 4-7 if it had been there. This match tightened up a little bit.
Yeah, Pete can shoot 249.
245.
245 for Goebel. So Pete can actually get up in the 9th to 10th frame regardless of what Brian does here and lock up the match.
Yes, he can. That was a much better shot. He regrouped just fine. Oh, no. I think Pete's in the position he always likes to be. You know, he's got a chance to close the door, and he tends to do that pretty well.
I think he's got a pretty good record of that through the years. 5 strikes, 3 spares, a chance to get up in the 10th and lock up this semifinal match against Brian Goebel.
Oh. There's the Pete that everybody knows. You know, and his actions are not premeditated. It's just Pete.
But the thing that he does better than some of the players out there is, I mean, that's an adrenaline rush.
Yeah,
but
it is.
So quick he can just bring it right back down and get back in the moment and slow the game back down to where he needs it.
And that's a key statement what you said. Being out there because it goes so fast, being able to slow the timing down, literally slow everything down, your heart rate, your breathing, and make a shot like that is absolutely incredible.
Fantastic.
You know, he's playing a part of the lane, which really amazes me, that nobody could play pretty much the whole week. Everybody else is outside, kind of going at him, that had their best looks. And it's Pete.
He finds a way to get right into his wheelhouse and make every pattern play the same, throwing good shots.
And I was talking to Pete earlier. He goes, all I did this week is I just squared it up and stayed on top of it a little bit. But for us looking back here, we don't see that. But he does.
Wow. That 9-pin is going to get the death stare for the next 30 seconds from Pete Weber. Cannot
that
get
is
the kick.
2 9s. Oh, my.
Both on that lane. So double to win, is that where we're at now?
He needs a double to win.
Double to win. Remember, he went that 7 count, that 3-6-10 last shot on this lane. He's just going to keep same line, just stay firm, don't give the pocket away like he's been doing all week.
Taking a little bit more time, it looks like. The first one is normally, I would think, the easier one to get. It's the second one that he needs. That's the one. That was right at target, and that was right off of his hand.
And Pete Weber is going to be bowling for title number 6 this year.
Yeah,
right?
this year.
Yeah. Let's forget number 6 this year. Since
4 in a row.
Since March.
Yeah.
Right?
He won 4 in a row. He took a week off to bowl the USBCs. Came back to Brentwood and finishes second there.
Yeah, Noel Vasquez with a great match.
Oh.
Yeah, fantastic match.
Finishes second last week to Norm.
And semifinal match up next here live from Olympia Lanes, PBA50 South Shore Open. Lenny Borsch, Pete Weber.
Two-time PBA Tour champion Brian Goebel. Weber moves on, and Lenny Borsch comes up, another Hall of Famer on the way. Lenny Borsch Jr. will receive 8 shots. We'll start the championship match here shortly.
Good bowling, Brian.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is 8 shots. We are ready to start the championship match here at Olympia Lane for the PBA50 Tour South Shore Open. It's a classic matchup for you. Lenny Borish Jr. from Kenosha, Wisconsin. He's won twice on the PBA50 Tour, 31 championships on the PBA Regional Tour. These two have battled it out for years. Going against PBA and USBC Hall of Famer Pete Weber. Pete will start the match. Let's give him a nice send-off to start him up. Guys, good luck.
St. Anne, Missouri's Pete Weber looking for PBA 50 title number 6
in the
year.
same year.
Yeah.
That's just insane. Lenny Borsch is bowling fantastic, though, and I think Pete's going to have his hands full if he bowls like he did in the last round. That lane give Pete some trouble in the last match. He's got to figure it out.
I think he made an adjustment off those couple of 9 pins and then just leaves a 4. And Pete did want to give a shout out to his 3-year-old grandson, Leo, who will be 3 on Saturday. So happy birthday, Leo, from Grandpa Pete.
That seems so weird to say Grandpa Pete. I've known him for so long. It just doesn't sound right.
You know, and we've talked about all the titleists, the Hall of Famers made the top 16, 214 titles. But Lenny Borsch, he's banged heads with Pete Weber for a long time in this part of the country. He's got 31 regionals between the national and the senior tour. And 3 USBC titles, and he's a USBC Hall of Famer. So he's not gonna fold.
No, he's always been in contention. He's got a phenomenal mental game. You know, his ball doesn't do all the curves and tricks and stuff, but he gets the ball down the lane. It does the job. A little bit of a stick right there. But he's always in the pocket. And to boot, he's such a nice guy on top of it.
Yeah. Very down to earth. Runs a pro shot back home.
He even takes your money with a smile.
Phil Brilo there.
That looked a little fast from what we've seen out of Lenny most of the week. I mean, he plays pretty hard and direct, but that one just seemed a touch fast.
Is he using that Marvel S? Is that what he's throwing? Kind of looks like from this angle.
I think that was my guess. Yeah, the Alpha Crux seems a little bit darker, but it's with the lighting in here and the angles. Yeah, I'm going to go, yeah, this Alpha Crux in the back, Marvel S up front, or the other way around. Let's see what we got there. Somebody knows.
Pete taking a re-rec.
Pete's throwing the Alpha Crux.
Pete's got to get that hand set just right. Once he gets set, you got the little two-step back forward, and away we go. Doesn't seem to be liking his look, but doesn't seem to be as crisp as it was the last game. And he's getting the ball right of the marker down lane, and he didn't do that the last game. I had a chance to talk to Pete. Always ask him, like, when you're sitting down there waiting your turn, what do you think about? You know, what do the greats think about? And he goes, I don't think about anything. I think about the next time I'm going to get to play golf, what I'm going to eat for dinner.
That's what I was going to say. What's the next tee time?
Yeah, he doesn't think about the shot. He doesn't. He goes, I don't think about bowling until I step on the approach. He got that ball farther right than he wanted to, and it came back, and he didn't like it at all, but he'll take it.
Into that comment where he doesn't think about until on the approach, one of the most common mistakes and errors we see from bowlers is overthinking.
Oh.
I mean, the worst ball in your bag is between the ears at times, right? Because we can overthink the heck out of it.
Oh, it's so easy to overthink, especially if you made an errant shot. You're thinking about how you're going to correct it, blah, 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 blah. And when you get up there, your mind's not clear, and you make another errant shot.
And that was anything but errant for Lenny Borsch. That's splitting the 8-9 about as good as you can. Yeah, that's the Marvel S, just going right at it.
Yep. He's kind of playing the same kind of strategy it looks like that Brian was playing.
That's that Brett Favre line drive right in the face mask that you're going to catch because it's going to stick to your face. I mean, that's.
Well as they bowled in the last round, this could be 280, 279.
It very well could be. And we would take it here for the championship match here at Olympia Lanes.
Lenny's not going to go away anytime soon. He's got such a unique approach in his power step. He never really gets his foot on the floor. It's like he tiptoes on that step. If you ever watch his footwork, it's pretty cool. Ooh, that looked like it was almost a little bit high, but he got away with it. Pete's almost getting it down lane to that no man zone. He's crossing like 10. He's hitting the marker down lane. In the previous match, he was more like 11, 12 down lane. The ball was on a little bit tighter line. You know Lenny's not going to give it away.
No. I think he tricked us on that one.
Yeah, off his hand, he's like, oh, I'm not sure. Then it's like, oh, wait a minute.
I like it.
It's got a chance.
Yeah. A one-pin match.
Lenny is always so cool, calm, and collected. And he never gets excited. His approach never gets fast. You know, people normally, they get anxious. You can see their footwork. They get a little quick, and it just never looks like Lenny ever falls into any of those traps. I know that feeling.
Yeah, and we talked about it at the start. That 7-10, we've seen a lot this week, and it was just a matter of time before it reared its ugly head.
See, when he struck the last couple times, he hit 11-12. That ball hit like 9-10, and it just didn't read. The break point is so touchy on this pattern. If you're in the right zone, you strike forever. If you're in the wrong zone, it's just all bad. The pins do bounce out. He was hoping for a bounce out on that, I know.
And Lenny just doesn't have the revolutions that Pete does to get it back from that board right at the range, trying to board and a half. It's just not going to come back. And unfortunately, he pays the ultimate price there with that 7-10.
Yeah, you really don't want to give Pete pins. It's the last thing you need to do is handicap Pete Weber.
You don't give him pins on the golf course or in the bowling center, either one from what I hear.
No, he's a pretty good golfer. I understand. I don't never want to play golf with him. I'm awful, so that he wouldn't have any fun playing. Lenny back on it. Right. And it's unfortunate. It's not like you make a big mistake when you leave that 7-10. It's just enough that the ball doesn't read the back end of the lane at all. And that's the big misconception. Like, well, I get to get the ball to hook more. I need more surface. Surface creates the ball to hook sooner, not more on the back end. In typical fashion of Pete Weber, jumping on a break. That's why you have 37 titles.
And that's what we expected to see after that. He's going to take advantage of it. Look at that intensity.
He's wanting this one bad.
But again, he knows how to just stop, slow things back down, take that deep breath, bring that pulse rate down about 50.
Stay in the moment, you know, not think about what's going to happen in the 10th. He's worried about the 7th frame. One frame at a time, stay in the moment. And that's so hard to do. People get anxious. We've all done it. Oh, he knew that was going to be a little bit high and got away with it.
Well, you know, he left a couple 9 pins the last match, got through it, and he's had a couple breaks on this lane now in this match. And you got to take advantage of it, and he's doing that. And Lenny Boris now knows he's just got to strike.
Yeah, Lenny's got his back against the wall at this point, and he's got to put up 2 strikes here to stay in the match.
You know, and the key for Lenny all week has been keeping his feet slow, keeping everything in line, and let's see if he can do that under this pressure here in the championship match against Pete Weber. That was left.
At least he didn't have a split. It was creeping up high. He got a 4-pin, but he definitely wasn't happy with it at all.
Really pulled that through the zone.
Yeah, he hung on to that a little bit too long. We talked about that a little earlier about placing the ball, and it looked like he just tried to place it in the pocket. And that's what Pete's so good at, trusting, you know. And unfortunately, that's another 11 pins that Pete's got. Lenny's looking at a top score of 226. Pete's going at a 279 pace.
So what do these players and yourself, Tom, think when you show up to these events, right? We're going to pack up. Everybody's going to head down to Anderson, another tournament. And here's Pete Weber again. I mean, you can't think he's going to win, but, I mean, it's almost going to be like, okay, you know what, there's 4 spots in Stepladder available because Pete's going to be there because he's been in every single one of them.
And I think we all know that. But we all want to be that one person that's in that stepladder that takes him down, too.
Sure.
You know, last week I was hoping I was going to be the guy. I wasn't, but, you know, you want to get in the position. And when you get this stepladder, you want to bowl for a title against Pete Weber, Amaletto, Walter Ray. You know, it's probably what 95% of us have thought about in our whole bowling career is bowling against somebody like that. But when it really happens, you do get the jits.
But you have to, right? I mean, if you're not getting nervous, then you know what? Then why are you here? Yeah,
well, it's good to be nervous. You know you're live, but you know you got to control that. Oh my goodness! How many times have we talked about 7-10s tonight so far? That stick hop didn't help his approach any. The ball, he never really got through it. He could bounce it out. You got to hit it though. Oh,
I think he was talking to you. Well, so let's add things up again. Lenny Borsch can go 215, and Pete's, you know, stay clean. He's in the 220s. But lane 11 has been the 7-10 lane this week. We sat here and watched it for the last couple of days. We've seen it twice on lane 12 in this match. Pete's got to get back up. This has been his tough lane. A couple of 9 pins, a couple of good breaks the last few shots. What's going to happen here?
well, he made it a little tougher on Lenny, but
boy, if any pin would have stood on that shot.
Oh, I'm glad we're back here, not out there.
Yeah, run for cover.
He pulled the ripcord on that one. Lenny really needs to put 4 in the bank right here.
Yeah, he can get up here, punch out, and force Pete to perform in the 10th frame. Much better shot off his hand. It just didn't pick up, though.
Unfortunately, this match is over.
Yep.
I thought we were over there for a second. Technical difficulties. Best Lenny's going to shoot if he strikes out's 204. Pete looking at 210 even if he opens. Pete's got 6 titles.
Yeah, he needs 5 on the next shot. That's if Lenny strikes out. I would give him pretty good odds if we were in Vegas. I'd bet your motorhome title that he would get 5 pins.
You know, after my fiasco in Vegas, I'd give you the motorhome. Well, he got the first one. He needs 2 more. And for Lenny, I know it's just about, you know, finishing his frame, throwing it good.
You want to finish on a high note and,
right.
and, you know, leave with good thoughts. Lenny's a champ. He's going to finish strong.
Well,
and a victory lap coming up for Pete.
And you can tell he's throwing a little bit more relaxed. He knows the pressure is off, but it's such a tough feeling. Like, why couldn't I have thrown it like that when I needed it, you know? It's the hardest thing in the world to do. Pete's going to take his spare ball. No, he's not. I thought he was going to take his spare ball and fire it for the win.
And the dream year continues for Pete Weber. Title number 6.
Yeah, this is going down in history. This is unbelievable. It's incredible. We are actually watching history happen.
That's fun to be a part of it. I've been able to see quite a few of the events now this year on the PBA50 Tour. It's an honor to be able to see this and be able to call this win. I got to call the first one at the Villages. And
now you get to call the 6th one.
Yeah.
And we're not done yet.
Yeah,
he's not going to be in Elkhart, our very final one, but he's going to be at the next 2 stops. He could have 8 titles. It's a possibility.
Unreal.
Congratulations,
Yep.
Pete Weber.
Wow.
Thanks, Tom Carter. We appreciate you sitting in again for the call.
Thanks for having
fans
me.
out there. PBA50 South Shore Open champ, Pete Weber.
Before we give Pete all of the money and his hardware, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Mike Cozy again. Thanks, Mike, for everything that you've done for the PBA throughout the years. Stick around. Also, we are going to have a quick interview with one of the Extra Frame crew. They'll come down and interview Pete for the Extra Frame webcast. Pete's 6th championship, unprecedented, 6th this year, 10th overall, and just an unbelievable year for Pete. Also like to take the opportunity to thank our sponsor, South Shore Sports, who they've been with us for a number of years here, and they've held PBA national stops here, PBA 50 tour stops, and no better host than Mike Cozy and Nick Loxis and the staff here at Olympia Lane. So thanks so much, Paul and the staff. Thank you for everything that you've done for us. And the scorekeepers, Don Rodkin is not here right now, but Don put in some very long hours as well. And quite frankly, no better scorekeeper than Don Rodkin. He can do it better than I can, and I've been doing it for years. Thanks to Linda Carter as well, the Extra Frame crew. Thanks to the media for coming out, and we've enjoyed it here in Hammond. And Greg, you want to take it away?
Well, John, I think you covered just about everything. You're making my job easy. But how about a round of applause for all these players? And again, a thanks to the staff, Mike Cozy, all the guys here at Olympia Lanes. Great job again. And what else can we say? Pete Weber, 6 titles this year on the PBA50 season. I mean, we're watching history here, folks. Let's appreciate what we've got. And Pete, say something for our fans here.
Okay, first of all, thank you, Storm, for making the best bowling balls on the planet for me to use and win with. Thank you very much. Mike, thank you so much for having us again. You run a great tournament. You're a class act. We can't thank you enough. So again, thank you, Mike.
Again, Pete, congratulations. Hang on. No, we got some stuff to give here. We got a trophy over here.
No, I'm not
all right.
done yet.
You know what? We'll let you get the mic back.
I'm not done yet. To all the volunteers that helped keep score and put our names in, even though I kind of did it every game, but I told you it was all right, so don't worry about it. Thank you very much. And to the fans, one of the best crowds of the year, man. Thank you so much. Thank you.
My turn now?
Yeah, you can go now.
All right. We got some hardware. Mike Cozy, you want to bring it out? Oh, and a check. Do you want the check? Why not?
Although it goes to Tracy, I never see it. That's right. I know, but she still gets a check.
Come on over here, Mike. We're a little short on the cord. Jump up here.
Well, Pete, it's been a great week, and I'd like to thank everyone, all the PBA players, all you fans, all week long. It's been super. Pete, just added to this, probably a lot of them you got there, but this one you can remember Hammond.
And now for the check.
Cool.
Again, thanks to Mike Cozy, all the people here at Olympia Lanes, all you fans, everybody out there in Extra Frame for tuning in. Another round of applause for our players. Congratulations, Pete Weber on number 6. Next up on Extra Frame, starting tomorrow, the Striking Against Breast Cancer mixed doubles event down at Bowl on Bel Air in Houston, Texas. Make sure to tune in and then join all these PBA 50 players next week at Championship Lanes in Anderson, Indiana.